Hello and welcome to Play Therapy. I'm Oliver. I'm joined by Alex and Lewis. No, I forgot your names on.
Hello.
Hello.
The time has come. The day has arrived. The Switch 2 has launched as of yesterday. After a bit of a fraught launch day for me and Lewis, at least, we all managed to get one. I'll just tell the story. Yeah, Alex ordered from Smith's like a normal, sensible man, and me and Lewis decided to put our faith in the world's biggest retailer. And no, apparently, while some people from Amazon did get their Switches, those in our area of the world. With our warehouse did not get them at all. It said when you went, I know IGN did stories on how it was saying that it was coming on the 7th. Yep. But everyone has spoken. Lewis himself, IGN themselves, have spoken to Amazon, and they was like, "Oh no, it's coming. It'll be fine." It got to the night of the actual the night before, and it still hadn't come. I woke up at 5 a.m. Looked at it still hadn't been dispatched, so we cancelled, and I ordered from Smith for the click and collect, went and got it straight away, and Lewis ordered from Argos, so we both ended up getting it.
We did. Yeah, it was just a ball ache. It was not a smooth process at all. No. It was one of the first times for a console release where I understand why people just go to a midnight release and just get it, like because you're guaranteed it. You get it, it's yours. You don't have to worry about anyone other than yourself. Because this really put me off wanting to order my consoles for delivery anymore, because that was just an absolute mess.
I think for the next one, I think we should all do the same midnight release and go and get it. It'll be good for footage as well. We can get some
I think we should. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Make a vlog out of it.
And they always like sometimes give stuff away as well. I know when I went and got my Switch from Game like all those years ago, they gave away like little keychains and stuff. So it's pretty good. Nice. But yes, we are now own the Switch. Sorry, I've got dirt all over the screen, but we now own the Switch. So we're going to give a wee little review of it. So first of all, shall we talk about the actual hardware itself? How does it feel, guys?
Feels nice. Feels heavy.
It is incredibly heavy. It is a dense machine.
Yeah, in terms of like the actual like feel compared to the Switch One, it's a very nice piece of kit. Like it feels premium.
Very premium.
It's the only way I can describe it, especially compared to the Switch One. If you hold the Switch One now, if you have a Switch 2 with you, if you hold the Switch One in comparison, it feels so cheap. Going from that 720p screen to the 1080p screen is absolutely massive.
Yeah.
Just obviously for visual fidelity, but just also just looking at the thing. Because that definitely adds to the weight of it, and it just looks gorgeous. It's a very nice looking console, and as much as I thought the fun and whimsy was taken away with not having the coloured Joy-Cons, I actually think it looks really nice in person.
Yeah. It's still got that little accent on it just to show you that it's Nintendo.
Yeah, I don't mind the slight colour accents. I just think it looks really clean, and I honestly think this was the right decision.
Yeah,
it makes it feel like a console that costs £450 or whatever it is. Like it feels like that for sure, which is nice. If they're making you spend that much money, at least it feels like I'm getting like some sort of worth out of it for like what I'm paying. So that's nice at least.
Yeah, definitely. Like I say, it just feels heavy. It's like the clunk of the Joy-Cons going into the actual system. There's no wobble or anything like that. They are in there. I could hold it like this. They are not going to come out.
It doesn't feel like it does not feel like I could break it easily either. Like it feels like it'd be really difficult to like do any damage to that thing.
As long as you don't drop it upside down, I guess.
Yeah, you'd have to try. That's what. You'd have to try intentionally to break it.
It's so satisfying taking those off. I love it. It's just great. It's just
It is. It's so much better than the rails.
One little feature. One little weak point that I think the stand. I think it still feels cheap. You know what I mean? It still feels like it could so easily break.
It feels cheap, and it does feel like it's good, but it's still infinitely better than the fucking stand.
It's better than the one from the original. It's not better than the OLED one was spot on.
Yeah, the OLED one was better.
Yeah, the OLED one was like thicker. Yeah, it just because they still has the thing where it's not one piece of plastic. It's got like it's got a hole in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So it feels like you could easily snap it, or it's going to come off. The OLED. As far as
I feel like I could rip this off.
Yeah. The OLED, as far as I understand, was like a thick piece of just plastic that like came completely out, but it was dense. Like it didn't have like a hole in the center of it. So.
Oh, that's where the micro SD card goes underneath it as well. That's cool.
I haven't even considered a micro SD card yet because I don't need one.
Have you guys put a physical card in yet?
Yes.
Yes, just to test some stuff.
So does the metal part just go over the cartridge?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
I had a slight issue yesterday because you take the game cartridge slot, you take it off on the other side now. You
Yeah.
used to do it.
Yeah,
Mm.
I've been thinking like picking at the front, but you
Yeah,
actually pick it
you
up from the
used to do
back.
it from the front, is where the indent was to get your
Yeah.
fingernail under, so you can lift it up. But it's on the back now. And when you take it off now, it sort of dangles off. It's a bit it's weird at first. And it's a bit. I found it difficult to get my first cartridge in there. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But it seems okay now for the most part. Now that I know what's going on with it.
Yeah. One thing that has improved as well is the straps that come with it. So in the box you get the console, you get the dock, you get a HDMI cable, a power lead, and you get these little straps. But they're a lot better than the other ones. Are really finicky because you had to slide them on.
Yeah.
But these
Yeah, and they got stuck as well, didn't they?
yeah, making a fool of
Remember
myself now
people
because I won't go
saying
on. There you
that.
go. But yeah, it just slides on and off. So that's good. So especially if you want to use the mouse mode on the right Joy-Con.
I still need to test out the mouse mode. I'm giving it a go. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I like.
Just do it on the menu now.
Yeah, legit. So yeah, so me and Alex have tried it on the menu. There's no games that we've got anyway that will take advantage of it. So Fortnite is going to, but I believe it's tomorrow.
Oh no, it's a
That's
couple
tomorrow.
days. So yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna download Fortnite only just to see, like just to give it a go. It won't be my main way to play Fortnite at all, but I'm going to give it a go.
I played a round of Fortnite yesterday. It runs all right. It runs fine. It's never going to be as good as PC, but it runs fine. It runs a lot better than it did.
As far as I understand, it runs 60 FPS and it runs. I think it's upscaled to 4K, which is the same as PlayStation 5 and Xbox One. So
yeah, it's just like the models don't look as good as they do on the PC. You know, they don't look as crispy.
yeah, of course.
But they've maximized the performance, so it runs in the like say FPS resolution, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's a hardware. Like I say, nice premium bit of kit. It feels like I don't know if I say it's worth the amount we paid for it, but it is. It feels good. It feels good in the hand. So moving on to the OS of it, the menus are nice and snappy now. Nice and snappy. The shop again, nice and snappy. Where everything else was such a slog on the original Switch.
Yeah, it's infinitely better. I haven't got too much to say about it other than it looks clean. It definitely helps as well now that even the main menu outputs to whatever the resolution of your TV is. So the menu doesn't look bad anymore. It's very clean, very crisp, and everything just is quick. I haven't had any issues yet, or it's not struggled at all with me going onto any menus. On the original Switch, even opening up settings sometimes could take like 2 to 3 seconds. Like, it was absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, it's snappy. I don't know if it's one of those things that will get worse as time goes on, and more stuff gets added to the operating system, and it maybe becomes more bloated. I do not know. But as it stands right now, it's very snappy and clean for me. I'm a fan of it.
Well, I watched a video yesterday on it was posted on a Reddit thread where the OS of the Switch was faster when it first came out, and over time it's gotten slower and slower and slower. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, like you say, it's just because they're adding to it and stuff like that. But right now, it works really well, looks really nice. The menu is now 1080p. You can see it doesn't look horrible on a TV like it used to.
Yeah, I've seen comparison videos of like the logos.
Yeah,
and you can see the difference.
Yeah.
Well, because I don't know. I think I'm not even 100% sure if it did output to 1080p on the home screen. It might have, but I don't think it did.
Well, the original Switch?
Yeah.
No, I don't believe it did.
It was 720 and the actual screen itself was 480, wasn't it?
No, I think it's the other. No, the screen on the original Switch was 720p.
Yeah.
Was it? When was it 1080 when it was docked?
Yeah.
Docked, yeah, but
it just didn't look. I don't think there was two versions. I don't think there was two versions of the menu. You know what I mean. I don't think it.
No, I get it.
Yeah, it was built for 720.
No, yeah, it was built for 720. That's what I mean. Yeah, it was, but like on a 4K TV, that looks awful though.
Oh yeah,
out blurry as hell.
Does not,
which might sound silly because like who the fuck's looking at the menu? Yeah, but like no,
we're reviewing a console there. We need to speak about all of it. It's all good.
So yeah, it's just good shit.
The shop, I believe the shop's also been updated on the original Switch, but the shop's a lot better than it was. You can actually find stuff now. It's not completely just bogged down with shovelware.
Yeah, it does.
And so much shovelware.
And I don't know. I can't comment too much on the original Nintendo shop on the eShop on the first Switch. But there's like a For You page now and stuff as well that seems to be curating stuff that you bought.
It,
And
it,
Yeah, I had a
that's
look at
really-
that.
it shows you trailers and stuff. It's just like a slideshow of trailers. It's really it's
does,
quite fun.
and I
Every Saturday you get 10 new games, I think it
like
is. So it was
I don't know
recommending
if
me
you
like
guys
Fire Emblem Warriors, Xenoblade 2, stuff like
I,
that. So it's like stuff that I would play.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have looked. It's very nice actually. If you hover over any game, it immediately starts showing gameplay of.
Oh, does it? Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like instantly. Like I'm talking about within like 0.5 seconds, it just starts
Yeah.
playing.
I like that they've added a wish list as well, which is really good. So like for example, if you're someone like me who sold all their Switch games, then I've added all the ones that I want to buy again, and I could just keep checking that wish list, and it will tell me when one's on sale because it will prioritize the ones that are actually on sale. That's really good. It's just really just nice little user friendly changes.
It seems like they've learned a lot from the first one, but they still. I haven't seen it personally, but from what I've seen online, they still majorly have the issue of there just being a bunch of shovelware on there. Whether or not it makes its way onto your screen, I don't know how easy that is for it to happen. But apparently, there is still like a massive shovelware issue. So I do wish Nintendo would sort that out.
Yeah, they're not gonna because
yeah.
they're making money from it.
Yeah.
All the crap that is on there. Yeah. So we also tried the game chat feature just now. The mythical C button. We got to press it. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right, and it does the job. There is literally no reason to not use Discord over it.
Yeah, that's literally the only. It's great. Like it works, but if you're listening to this video, I feel like you must be in this party because I understand that it's like a bubble for sure, but I feel like the people who watch YouTube and are into gaming type sphere would already be like accustomed to using Discord or TeamSpeak or just some sort of different chat. This definitely isn't going to, the chat system implemented on Switch definitely isn't going to stop you from using whatever chat service you're currently using. The only way it will be beneficial to you is if you've somehow lived a life where you've never used any sort of like game chat program before, and this is your first time doing it, and it's your only way to sort, like, maybe you don't have a PC, maybe you don't have a computer or laptop that support Discord. Like, maybe there's just something reason out there where you can't do it.
Everyone's got a phone.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. Even then, it's just like how. But like, if there's for some reason you can't use any other chat service and this is your first time doing it, it's fine. It works. You don't have to like buy a microphone and stuff to use it. You can do it. Works straight from the Switch out of the box.
It works with any USB webcam as well. None of us have bought the overpriced Nintendo webcam. We've just used our normal. Like, I've got a Logitech one. It works straight away.
I think anyone who does buy that webcam that they're charging 50 quid for is absolutely
that's diabolical.
Yeah, like no. If you really want a webcam and you're dying for one for the Switch 2, just go buy it like a cheaper one off Amazon or anywhere. Don't buy the £50 Switch one. The Switch one does nothing special.
Yeah. One thing I didn't test, though, speaking of USB, I didn't test a USB mic. We need a USB mouse. I need to try that, see if that works.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I could probably test that. I need to connect it with wire.
Yeah, I can't test it right now because it's not plugged in. But we'll test that afterwards. Game chat. There's also that's a screen sharing feature as well that they do. We tried that. Again, it's fine, I suppose, but it takes up a lot of the screen, and the frame rate is ridiculously low.
Yes, we played F-Zero, and the screen size that we were all looking at was probably the same size as our current Windows right now.
Yeah,
so it's kind of hard to like focus on that. Like, I guess it's like old school, like actual split screen with your friends on like the small TV, but it's like when you can just not have the share screen on, it's so much better.
Yeah, exactly.
Less lag as well.
Like I say, we were doing like secret hunting in like Mario Kart World and stuff, and it would have been good for that, just like because we were looking for certain things across the map, and you could say, "Oh, I found one," and then we all had to try and find where they were. You could just see, like, and you can change the size of the windows as well, like the actual windows to the smaller and bigger and all that kind of stuff. Or you can just change it so they only appear if you press the C button. Yeah. So there is a use case for it, and I'm glad it's there, but I just can't see us in particular getting a lot of use out of it.
No. I don't have a problem with these features being added. Like, the fact that it's there is cool. It's just I'm never going to make use of it whatsoever. Yeah,
voice chat was a great thing to have on a console years ago. Like, even if we're playing a PlayStation game or an Xbox game or something, we'd still use Discord because it's just
Yep.
easier. It's just much easier. I can't remember the last time we used game chat for anything, unless it was like a proximity chat in like Lethal Company or that Midnight Murder Club.
Literally, the last time I would
Yeah.
have used game chat, like being dead serious, will have been
Midnight Murder Club.
Xbox One. No, no,
Like party
like an
chat.
actual,
Yeah.
yeah, party chat was Xbox One, like 2014. That's probably the last time I
Yeah, it's
used it.
probably search and destroy. Like
Yeah.
that's the only thing I can think where I had to use game chat.
The moment 2016, 2015 hit, and I started using Discord, that was it. I never used party chat once after that in my entire life. Like
Yes.
that was completely done and dusted.
So when I was in my Destiny clan, originally we used the limited like PlayStation chat, like party chat, but then I discovered Discord, and then introduced it to the clan and stuff, and then since then we had like just like rooms for each like raid and stuff like that, and it's so much simpler to organize
It is.
as
Just
well
much
as well as
simpler.
you got the text chats right next to it, so it's like, oh, jump in this, jump in that. It's just a lot easier. Discord's really got the market cornered on that one. Do people still
Yeah,
use TeamSpeak, by the way? I heard you mention it before.
yeah, TeamSpeak's popping off, especially with all the decisions that
Discord are making.
Discord are making
Yeah.
currently, which they're currently turning it into like a gacha weird thing, and also selling all your data and just like everything you post now in any chats, pictures or anything, Discord take it for their AI.
Yeah.
For like their AI data, their AI data collection and stuff. So TeamSpeak was already existing and still doing good, but it's doing way better now. Everyone, because loads of people are moving over to TeamSpeak.
Interesting.
Because on TeamSpeak, for example, you can still screen share and stuff for free. You don't have to pay. You can screen share 1080p, and it's clear. Blah blah blah. Obviously, on Discord, you need a premium subscription to be
Yeah.
able to even stream to someone 1080p. Otherwise, you're locked to lower resolutions and stuff. So um, there's there's a lot of reasons to be jumping over to TeamSpeak now and stuff like that. But Discord's like the poster boy for
Voice chat.
I don't want to say game chat, but yeah, voice chat. Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. So with the release of the Switch 2, a lot of older Switch games are getting updates. I can't comment on this too much because I don't have any of them anymore. But I know you guys have been playing Pokemon and Zelda and stuff like that, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was doing a little mix
All
of
my games.
things. I'll just say real quick. So I did a mix of things. I was playing games that have actually had an update for Switch 2. And I also tested a couple games that have had no update, but just to see if the performance in general was able to either hold better or just improve. Because there are a lot of Switch games that were. There's two instances. There's a lot of Switch games that didn't get updates, but they either ran at 30, but the games themselves didn't run at 30.
Yeah.
So now they're more stable. Or there's instances where there were Switch games where the frame rate was always uncapped. But because the Switch was so underpowered, it would never even get close to those uncapped frame rates. And they're now running better as well. So there's like a couple of different ways in which you can actually tackle these games. Obviously, I do think as well a lot of games are going to get updates from the developer. That's where the issue lies, is actual performance updates have to be done by the developer of whatever the game is. If they don't put an update out for it, then nothing will change. It's not gonna magically make games that ran awful suddenly 4K 60 FPS. It entirely depends on how the game was built originally, and it depends on if the publishers or developers, sorry, actually push out a next gen update. So opinions and stuff on these games will change, I imagine, as the weeks and months come on and more of these updates and stuff come out. But as of now, I've tested a few. Those being Pokemon, both Scarlet and Violet, which had an update, Legends Arceus, which didn't have an update, and I've also tested Breath of the Wild, which did have an update.
Yeah, I've tested a few. I've tested Pokemon Scarlet, Breath of the Wild, Legends of Echoes of Wisdom and Link's Awakening, Pokemon Shield, and Legends Arceus.
Yeah.
Those are like the main ones I tested.
Yeah, and it's not just like frame rate and resolution that's got like an uplift as well. I know for when I was sat in a voice chat with Alex while he was testing Pokemon Scarlet, and he found 2 shinies, I believe, just because
like 10 minutes.
they can render so many more Pokemon at once. That's insane. It's just crazy. It's a completely new game.
It's a completely different game.
It feels amazing as well. Like playing it on the Switch One, it just every time you tried to move was lag. And with this, it's just buttery smooth. It's like, so good.
It's weird if you've played Scarlet and Violet for as many hours as like me or Alex have, and you suddenly go back to this because you're so used to the movement and how that game looks. that playing this game for like 10 seconds, something feels wrong because it does not feel the same. All of that like muscle memory is just not there anymore. And it is like it truly is like an entirely different experience. And a lot of people are arguing, should you have to pay £450 to play a game from 3 years ago or 2 years ago? 3 years ago? 2022, 2023? Scarlet and Violet?
I don't know. I ain't got a clue.
Do you know, Alex?
2023.
Yeah, people are arguing, should you have to pay £450 to play a game how it was meant to be played?
2022.
Wow. To play a game how it was meant to be played and it came out 3 years ago. Like, should that be the case? No. Is it very evident that this console was meant to come out a couple years ago? Yes, probably. My theory could be just completely bollocks. My theory is Scarlet and Violet was meant to launch on the Switch 2. I think the Switch 2 was either in production or it was close to being in production, and for some reason they pushed it back. But because they announced Pokemon and they hadn't had a Pokemon game in how many years, they were like, we need to follow through with this.
Yeah.
So they just continued production and just did what they did. Because what the game that you play now, if you play Scarlet and Violet, feels like a finished game. Like,
Yes.
it feels like an actual game that had effort put into it. Scarlet and Violet on the Switch 1 cannot say the same.
No.
Could not even remotely say the same thing. So I played that. That was really good. I played... I think it's the Legends Arceus. I didn't mean to say Legends Arceus. I played Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
I played Pokemon Shield. That didn't run any better because that game is locked to 30 FPS. But I went to areas like the wild area in the open world section, Sword and Shield, where it would usually lag a lot more. It was definitely holding 30 FPS.
Yeah.
It was not dropping. That's a different issue completely on whether or not you think 30 FPS is acceptable on a console game and stuff like that, but it was definitely holding the 30 FPS compared to like the 15 that it would drop to.
Yeah.
So that was a clear improvement with no update from Nintendo. And then Breath of the Wild, another game that's got a Switch 2 version. I only played it for I played like that first opening 15-20 minutes of the game. Looks absolutely unbelievable. It looks unreal. It runs buttery 60, doesn't drop even a singular frame. The textures are infinitely better. The only thing that's a bit dodgy is the render distance. There's still like bad popping.
Yeah.
Like, it'll go from nothing being in front of you to all of a sudden there's something being right there. So the pop-in is very noticeable, especially now that all the textures are cleaned up and stuff, and the resolution is way better. Because it's running at 4K, I think. It's probably not native 4K, it'll be upscaled.
Yeah.
But it is running at 4K, so it looks fantastic. That in itself, I think, has given, like, complete, like, a new, like, breath of life into the game.
I get it.
Like, to the point where I feel like I'm genuinely going to play through the entire game again. I'm going to play through the whole game because it feels like a brand new experience.
Yeah.
And this is the stuff I was excited for the Switch 2. I'm excited to be able to play these games the way they were meant to be played or the way they were envisioned. And actually just have a good time with them. For a lot of people out there, it's not going to make a difference because there's people who are adamant that performance does not matter to them as long as the game's fun. And that's completely fine if you feel that way. But from my personal experience, the games that I've tested and played, the Switch has been game-changing for them.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy about that. I do want to hear Alex's opinions on the games that he played, like Zelda and stuff, because they ran awful on the Switch one.
Yes. I'll quickly fire through the ones that we've already mentioned. So Pokemon Scarlet, like brand new experience, buttery smooth. You can actually spawn millions of Pokemon now. I found 2 shinies and I played for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't
just
a long
because of
time.
the amount of Pokemon that was spawned. Breath of the Wild, same as Lewis. No frame drops. Like it just felt smooth. That's how the game should have been.
I do need to test that feature as well, though. I didn't get to test it. The whole
the map thing on your phone.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh yes. I used the app as well, and I entered the Gerudo area, and then Zelda started talking to me on my phone. It was weird, but I think doing a new playthrough, I think that would be cool to like just have your phone like on with like Zelda telling you stuff. I think that would be cool.
Can you do the map and stuff on your phone as well?
I believe so. Yes.
That's gonna be cool. I don't mean it as a flex, but because I've got a fold, I can have a map like out.
Oh yeah.
That's if Nintendo allowed the app to use with the phone.
Yeah, they probably haven't.
Imagine. Yeah, the main two I want to talk about are Link's Awakening and Echoes of Wisdom. So in the main town in Link's Awakening, frames would just
Oh,
drop.
and I want to clarify as well. Echoes of Wisdom, have Echoes of Wisdom and Link's Awakening, have they had an update? Does anyone know?
I actually don't know. Nintendo
Or is this, or is
Switch
this like?
2.
The,
Because I know a
The
lot of
Nintendo app does open
Yeah.
across 2 screens. You're
Oh,
good.
there you go.
Big fat.
Right, yeah, I'm gonna have a
map.
big fat. I'm gonna have a big fat map then. Yeah, because a lot of games got pushed out for Nintendo Switch 2 release.
Yes, they did.
Okay,
They did.
okay. I just want to
Um, but yeah, like the visuals have improved massively, and there's no lag. Like the frames would drop massively in that town, and anytime you tried to like leave and go to a separate area, because the whole map was just in one area, so it would load that entire area, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
there was no frame drops. It's the definitive way of playing Link's Awakening now. And Echoes of Wisdom, there was no issues. I know on Switch One I had loads of issues with frame rate. Yeah, none whatsoever. It's perfect. I think you should play Echoes of Wisdom now, Lewis, because
I mean, I'm definitely going to. That is literally what stopped me from playing it. I downloaded
yeah,
it. I have it on my other Switch. Um, but when I saw all those reviews when it came out, I said I'm not playing this because it doesn't. It's not that it doesn't look fun, but it looks like it actively takes away from the enjoyment of playing it, and I can't deal with that. It's too much for me.
Maybe a
Yeah.
return to the Hyrulean Chronicles on the card. Who knows?
No, genuinely, I genuinely think it's realistic now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one of you is gonna have to let me the game.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. I was gonna say
I've got them. Don't
that's
worry.
one thing that's not been commented on that I just realised.
The game cards.
No, not even that. No, we'll talk about that in a
Oh.
sec. Alex slightly mentioned. I was just gonna say the loading times in general for all of these games are ridiculous.
Yes.
Like
Oh yeah, the Scarlet
Scarlet and
Violet, yeah,
Violet,
the speed run.
ridiculous. No, not even. Well, there's that as well. Yeah, so there was a speedrun for Scarlet and Violet that obviously existed, but speedrunners have been running Scarlet and Violet on the Switch too, and just in one day they've managed to cut the run down by 25 minutes, just due
Jesus.
to the game running faster.
That
Because
just
it's-
shows how much like it was just slowing the game down.
Yeah,
It's insane.
But in Scarlet and Violet, when I was playing it before, I was teleporting to the DLC island, the Blueberry Academy. On the Switch One, that would legit take about 20 seconds, 25 seconds. It takes about 6 now.
So,
About 6 or so. It's absolutely ridiculous. So again, it's just adding to the enjoyment of these games for me. Like the efficiency, the speed, the quickness of everything happening. It's just very nice, and that is why I bought the Switch 2. I know it's an expensive, ridiculously priced thing. Like, and to be fair, I don't know if I 100% even disagree with the console being overpriced.
yeah.
Part of me does, but part of me doesn't. The games being overpriced, I agree with. I think it's too much.
Yeah. It does. So it's hard to say that it feels like a current gen console.
Yes,
But it feels
yes.
like a current gen Switch.
Yes,
Definitely.
and that's
Yes.
that's exactly what I expected out of it. That's what I
Yeah.
wanted. I'm fine paying that premium to play these games the way I wanted to believe they would run, like the way I believed they would play when I first bought my Switch in 2017. And I'm fine paying that premium to now be able to do that. And I feel like that's the main thing people need to realize. Yes, there's going to be actual next gen experiences as the months go on. Donkey Kong's coming out, Metroid's coming out. Like we're going to get these exclusive games where we're going to really notice a difference.
Yeah.
And that is going to be fun. But as of right now, early days, launch of the Switch 2, it is very limited in what it can do because it is just a bunch of updates to old games. But I'm fine with that personally because that's what I expected it to be.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with
The
it.
thing is, it's 430 quid, right? This generation is going to be 8 years long. As long as you don't upgrade to like an OLED or whatever comes along, the thing is you're going to get a lot of use out of this thing. You know.
Yes. If it's anything like the Switch 1, that's 8 years.
Yeah. People they can't see. People can't seem to put in perspective how much the actual like use out of the price
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
a
exactly.
console.
Yeah.
Consoles are expensive. Yes, they are pieces of computing equipment.
Yes.
All computing equipment is expensive. It's not a Steam Deck, but at the end of the day, the Steam Deck is going to be out of date a lot quicker than the Switch 2 is.
Yes.
Because the Switch 2 plays a certain type of games that will always work on it. The Steam Deck eventually will be outpowered. It won't be able to run new games.
Sure.
Yes.
I already think, and again, it's different use cases. They do different things. Steam Deck is again a computer. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
it can do a lot more. It has access to a lot more. It has access to Steam. As using the Switch the way I've been doing since yesterday, and the bit of handheld I've been doing, I think overall feel and just in terms of the way stuff runs, especially with the 1080p screen, it's better than the Steam Deck for me right now.
Yeah.
I think it's just an overall use thing. It feels a lot nicer. And it's gonna be more inclined, and it's gonna pertain to me a bit more in what I want it to do.
Yeah.
Not that the Steam Deck's bad. I enjoy that the Steam Deck's thick. I enjoy that it's bigger, thicker, chunky, and it's got all my Steam stuff. But as a piece of equipment, I think the Switch 2 actually feels a lot more premium.
Oh yeah,
Steam
without it. The Steam Deck still feels like a first generation bit of kit. It does.
Yes.
It does. It's great, but there's stuff on there like the two trackpads. You know, a lot of that stuff is going to get slimmed down, and it's going to it's going to get getting rid of because it's just not used. How many people use it, like both trackpads and that thing? It just doesn't
It's
happen.
the same thing that happened with the Steam controller, where two people liked it, thought it was incredible.
Yeah.
And it is cool in concept, but the use case out of it is very small.
Exactly. But while we're on the subject of like Steam Deck and chunkiness and all that stuff, I want to talk about the usability of this thing and the comfort of it because I think we're going to have differing opinions on this. So, obviously, this feels better than the Switch. It does feel.
Yes.
There's no way it's not going to because it's bigger. But I personally feel like I still don't think this is comfortable to hold. I do not think it is comfortable to play on handheld for a big amount of time. There's couple of reasons for that. First of all, it's much heavier than the Switch one. It is much heavier, so you need to be in a certain position in order to not have tired hands. Also, the Joy-Cons right at the front here, that is a lot sharper than the roundness of the Switch 1 Joy-Cons, and it digs into your hand.
No.
It digs into your hand. It does feel better because it's bigger, right? There's no getting around that. But I think in terms of your hands getting tired, and I don't know if you guys have it as well, but if I play the Switch for too long, my fingers start losing the feeling like I'm having a stroke or something. You know what I mean?
That did used to happen with my Steam Deck.
Yeah,
if I played it for too long, my fingers would start going numb.
Yeah, exactly. And I've comparing this directly to the Steam Deck as well, the Steam Deck to me is still more comfortable. For a big console like this, you need grips, and I hope that Nitro Deck do eventually come out with like they're on for the Switch, just a big chunky case.
That's the key. That's why in general, in terms of holding it and using it, I think the Steam Deck is better because it's thicker and it has the handles. It's the handles. It's the grip.
Exactly. You need something to wrap your hand around.
The back of the Switch is just flat. If you want to Switch 1 or Switch 2, it's just flat at the back. So yeah, there's nothing for your hands to clamp onto. And as a result, at least your hands getting tired. The other thing for me, and this is more just, I don't know if this is I think it's a Joy-Con thing. It's the thumbstick placement that gets me.
Yeah.
Because the face buttons are so small on a Joy-Con, and the thumbsticks are placed in a position where your left thumb is higher and your right thumb is lower, I find it very difficult with the right Joy-Con to go from the stick to the buttons.
Yeah, it's an awkward angle.
Yes, it's too awkwardly placed for your thumb to efficiently move up and down and go between them. And that's the main reason I don't like it. Is why I liked my Nitro Deck for my Switch, because it changed the thumb placement to both being at the top, and then you had big clickable face buttons underneath, but they were slightly shifted to the right and the left. So you just had space to move your thumb and get that stuff done. That's the only thing I don't overly like about it. And that's just due to the way that they designed their Joy-Cons, because what it should be is the thumbstick and then the buttons above, but slightly to the right. But they're not slightly to the right, they're directly above. And that makes it really crampy. That makes it really difficult to get anything done in a comfortable way. I'm still going to play this in handheld for sure.
Yeah.
Like I said, for the main thing for me in the handheld is the 1080p, because even the Steam Deck doesn't have a 1080p screen. The Steam Deck has a... I'm going to have to look because I don't want to lie here. I know it's not that relevant, but I just need Steam Deck screen size is 1280 by 1800 is the screen I'm thinking. Whereas the Switch 2 screen is 1920 by 1080p. It's a 1080p screen.
Yeah.
And it looks absolutely fantastic. So I'm definitely going to get a lot of use out of the handheld in this.
Yeah.
It's not going to be my main use for the system. It never will be. 85% of my Switch being used is going to be docked. But I can at least see myself using the handheld version of this more often than I did with the original Switch, because the original Switch was actually unplayable for me.
Yeah,
in handheld.
It's got big spade hands.
Small, way too small. I could not hold that thing for more than like 15 minutes without it just becoming like incredibly tiresome. This Switch 2, I have more of a chance.
Yeah.
It's still not great. It's not perfect, but it's definitely better. So that is nice at least.
Like I say, you got little hands on you. It'll do for now. It'll definitely do for now. I'm definitely looking for a Nitro deck. I'm definitely, and I know for a fact they will bring one out without a doubt.
Well,
yeah.
But I guess the key thing is they'll have to completely. Actually, no, maybe they won't. I'm gonna say they have to redo their entire philosophy and design, because there's no rails anymore. It's now magnets. But all it ever did anyway was just slot into the. Because it was just powered by the Switch, and then it was like basically it connected as if it was an external controller. So I guess they won't have to change much. It would just be making bigger, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. Right, we're gonna quickly rattle through some stuff because we need to cover Mario Kart as well. Right, so obviously we talked about the screen. The screen's beautiful. The colors pop really nicely. We can all agree on that. Do you want to quickly talk about the Pro controller?
Yeah, Pro controller is the best controller. It's very nice. It's better than the Switch 1 controller. The plus and minus buttons feel really nice in comparison. And the sticks are brilliant. They're fantastic.
Yeah,
both me and
Alex bought as Pro controller. Oliver did not.
No.
If you were a fan of the original Pro controller, which I believe to be one of the best controllers out there, purely due to it's got a great feel, but it had an insane battery life. If you liked the Pro Controller one for any reason, I would heavily recommend the Switch 2 controller. Yeah. It feels the same as the original one, but with like a glossier finish, much like more premium feeling sticks, super clicky buttons. Like even the face buttons, they're not as squishy anymore. They're very clicky. And they've added extra paddles at the back of the controller, all for the same price as the original Pro controller.
Yeah.
And it's still got the ridiculous 70-hour battery life on one charge. So I could not think of any negatives for this thing. Maybe the price, but not really, because they charge the same amount for a PS5 and an Xbox One controller, and the battery life on both of those are dog shit.
Yep.
So
yep.
I really can't say anything bad about it.
Yeah. So
it's just a good controller.
I've been using a combination of the Joy-Con grip. It feels better than the original did for sure. It's still not a great controller, but that's because that's not the fault of the grip. It's the fault of the Joy-Cons themselves, because the triggers just aren't big enough at all to wrap your fingers around.
I like the L and R buttons that I can hold the side. And
on
the side.
Yeah, no, that does feel good. I've also been using my old Pro controller. That stopped working with my original Switch for some reason. It just booted back into life when I plugged it into the Switch 2. So happy days. I don't need another Pro controller. I'm good. I'm probably gonna get an 8-bit do anyway. So the virtual game cards I want to talk about briefly. It seems like a really neat feature. I was a bit thinking about it at first, but it seems like a good feature. I really do like it.
I got hyped about it, and the hype was a little bit taken away just because I didn't know this. When I saw the feature yesterday and was looking into it, I did believe you could share it with anyone in your family there and then. You do have to be locally there to actually.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh. If you want to share the game cartridge, you have to be on the same network to share it.
Are you 100% sure about that? Yeah.
I am 95% sure.
All right, I'm just gonna quickly run through it while we speak. So it is a neat feature. If that is the case, and that does kind of sully it a little bit.
Yes. Because it's exactly what happened to me yesterday. Because I went, this is amazing. Because I was going to share one of you a game just about let's have some fun, and then I read the print on the screen and it said you must be on a local network to share.
Yeah, bring the two consoles close together.
All right. Yes. All right. So it is. it's like lending physical games, isn't it? That's less
Yeah.
cool.
I know why they've done it like that. It's
Yeah.
so you can't go on like Reddit or a Discord group and share games with each other.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it'd just be like if someone could run their own store, couldn't they, and just rent
Yes,
them for like 14
exactly.
days. I get it.
Yeah.
It does make. I feel like a Nintendo apologist doing this now, but it does make sense. But it's just like between us, like because I imagine we'll be sharing games at some point.
Yes. Yeah.
Especially because
Yeah.
I'm moving to full digital.
Like I said, I was excited to do it yesterday, but at the moment I saw that, it was sullied a bit, and I went, "Oh."
Yeah, well, I'll just have to pop round and just do it. But yeah, it's a portable console. It makes sense. It's fine. I think that's all I want to cover on the Switch 2. Unless anyone else has got anything to speak, we're not going to give it a score because I don't really believe in giving a console a score because it's got a long life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's two things. I don't believe we can give it a score of 2 or 3 things. We've played one new game on it, which
exactly.
is Mario
Yeah.
Kart. We have not really truly seen what this console is even capable of doing.
I mean, we can talk about like because obviously it's only one new game. Like with the Switch One, they had a few. Like they had Breath of the Wild, obviously, but they had like Snipper Clips. They had Hollow Knight.
If you
Not
want
Hollow Knight, Shovel Knight.
If you want me to talk about the launch lineup, it's one of the worst launch lineups in video game history. It's awful. It's terrible.
Yeah. So there is a lot of games come out for it, but they're also out on other consoles as well. They've already had them.
It's not a launch game if it's a game that's been out. That's
Yes.
not a launch game. That's just a game that you can also buy on this console. If it's been out, available on other console, not just Switch One, on Xbox, PS5, PC, then it's not a launch game.
Yeah.
That does not count towards the launch.
I think the only one you could possibly argue for is Deltarune Chapters 3 and 4. I know that's just an extension of a current game that's out anyway, but it launched the same day as Switch 2. So you could argue that. But yeah, having one first party game on launch day is weak. They should. I would have waited a little bit longer, quite happily, and had Donkey Kong Bonanza on the same day as Mario Kart, and that would.
That would have been a really good. Good
it's still not amazing, but it would be a lot better than just the one. But it's fine. We've got Mario Kart.
There's only so much Mario Kart you can play in a game, let's be honest.
Exactly. We played a lot of it today. But we're going to move on to Mario Kart as well because it's all being covered in one review. So Mario Kart World came out. We all got the version of the Switch 2 that had it come as a. Did yours guys come as a code?
Yes.
Yeah. So because I know that there's 2 separate packagings.
I saw this.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if that's an American thing or if that's also European.
Well, the theory is that they were selling a lot more bundles than they were individuals, and then they started printing out covers or stickers for the consoles and just slipping in the box before it got shipped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, so anyway, we got Mario Kart World. We've been playing it quite a lot. I've done all the Grand Prixes. I've done a lot of the knockout tours. We played quite a bit of like free roam today and a little bit of online. Should we get the bad stuff out of the way first?
Yeah. We'll start with the bad stuff.
So the online. It's just they just can't seem to get it right at all. They make it so difficult. So they've improved in some ways. So the basic mode is you all get into a free roam. You're all in the same world. You can be the world is massive, and you can be on either side of it and instantly transport to where your friend is, which is great. It's all that stuff. From there, the leader of the lobby, of which there could be 24 people in, I believe, these lobbies. The leader of the lobby that can then pick a mode to play, but you've got to play that mode if you've not got the full 24 people, which obviously we don't. There's 3 of us. You have to play with computers. You cannot, from that mode, go into an online game with other people as 3 people, which is ridiculous. On top,
it's unacceptable for 2025.
Yeah,
I would argue.
It was the thing. We should have seen it coming. We really should have, because it is Nintendo. And on top of that, so the Grand Prix work. If you were going, I want it to be in a Grand Prix with other people as well. You can't do it from free roam. You need to do it from the main menu. It works exactly the same as it did last time. You cannot create a lobby and then go into it. You have to join. So one of you will join a game, and then the others will join and have to wait for a free place to come up, because Mario Kart just come out. The lobby fills up immediately.
Very fast, yeah.
So they have to wait for someone to leave. It's stupid. It shouldn't be that way. Like Lewis said, it's 2025. It's ridiculous. That should not be the case. On top of that, the new knockout tour mode, where you essentially play one long race, split up into 6 different like tracks. There doesn't seem to be a way to play that together.
It's one of those things where I'm sure it's easily fit. Nintendo could implement something to make it so you can do this, but I don't know if it's laziness or if they're just silly enough to believe that people are fine with it being the way it is. I don't know what it is. It's one of those. It has to be one of those things. It has to be sheer I don't care, or people aren't complaining enough about this, so why change it? People are clearly okay with being like this. And I don't know what it is.
I think people,
really
it's just Stockholm syndrome, and it's just people have gotten used to just being beaten over the years, and just it's like, oh yeah, no, this is just the way we play Mario Kart now.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
It is stupid, and to lock out groups of friends, it's not fully locking out. Obviously, you can play with computer characters, and that's fine, and we have been doing, we're having a blast with it. To lock us out of playing with other people and playing like competitively, it just seems no other game does that.
Yeah, and to lock out of the being able to play I'd argue the definitive mode of this game, Mario Kart World, the knockout mode, you can't play that online with friends at all whatsoever. At least you can play the Grand Prix. At least you can. Well, no, it is the Grand Prix.
The Grand Prix.
You can play the regular racing online. It might be a convoluted system to play with your friends, but it is still possible.
It's possible. Yeah.
The knockout mode is zero. Can't. It's not possible to play that with friends online.
How long they are as well. Like, if someone drops out, you're going to be waiting a while as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, it just stinks. And I hope it's not going to happen. This is my biggest, like, wish list for, like, 2025, I suppose. I want Nintendo to give us a patch where they go, you can now play this mode online. We've made a lobby system. You can just search, play, like, blah, blah. I would love that. Are they going to do that? No.
No, I think the chances of that are less than zero. It's just not going to happen. I don't think anything's going to change from the way it works now. But
it just worries me.
They had the tournament system. Do you remember that, where you could put in like a code, and then like, you could like just have that, and then that would be like your lobby essentially.
It just worries me for the future, because I assume all games, Nintendo of its first-party games, are going to follow this system.
Yeah.
Whether that's Splatoon 4 or whatever it is, they're going to follow this stupid convoluted system, which turns a game that is meant to be enjoyed multiplayer into a chore.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Mario Kart is a multiplayer game. I know people play the single player, but it's a multiplayer game. It's a party game. That's what it is. So let people play in a fucking party.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it's silly, it's dumb. But that's the main bad thing about the game, though. That is
exactly. We got the morning out of the way. That's fine. That is, but everything else that we've played, well, there is a few things I want to talk about that aren't quite great, but I wouldn't mark them as massive negatives. So let's just we'll go through the modes one by one. Basically, let's talk about free roam. So in free roam, you start the game. The main menu starts. You can see a character. You've not really picked it. Just like driving around the world. You press start when a free roam, and you immediately go to exactly where that character was in the world, and start exploring. You can go anywhere. You can open the map. You can fast travel all over it. There's things to do. There's a sort of P-switch challenges that are just like little missions across the map. There's like each course has 5 hidden question mark blocks you can get. There's peach coins. Don't really know what so far we've only really seen that the reward for any of these things are stickers, which is fine. It's something, but there might be a reward for collecting everything. We don't know yet. We've not had enough time of it. But I enjoy the free roam mode, but I don't think it's what it was made out to be.
No. Yeah, the best way I can describe it, at least for me personally, is the free roam mode to me is like all bark, no bite. Like it looks like it should be fun, but there is actually very little to it. There is not much going on with it whatsoever. There's stuff to do. The best part of it by far, the open world, is the P-switch challenges.
Yeah.
Which we can't keep track of them.
Which actually add challenge to the game. Yeah, I'll get to that in a second. Yeah, you make a good point there. You can't the P-Switch challenges are really fun. You can restart them if you manage to lose them, so you can restart it again. And
Yeah.
when I say they're challenging, I mean they're actually challenging.
Yeah.
Every single one of those challenges, I've only just managed to do it by like sometimes like 0.5 seconds left on the
Yeah.
clock. Like very, very tight, having to replay it multiple times. I think they're incredibly fun.
Yeah, I think the
You
closest
can't
I got
drop
was 0.06 on one of them.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Sweating.
That's like every single one that I think they're like a ton of fun. What isn't a ton of fun is that you can't track which one of those you completed,
Yeah.
and you can't track how many of those there actually are.
Yeah.
You can't see how many P-Switch challenges are. You can't directly go to a P-Switch challenge. You don't know where it is. You can't see your percentage progress of everything you've done in the open world. It's very silly, and for a lot of people, including me, it's going to make me not want to do it. I was only enjoying it as much as I was doing before because we were playing the multiplayer and we were finding stuff together. By myself, on my ones, sat there, I am not going to grind any of that stuff because I have no sense of progression.
Yeah.
I can't see what I'm doing.
So I understand what they're trying to do in the fact that you need to find these challenges. That's fine, but as soon as you've completed one, it should be on the map. It should be on the map that you've completed that one, so you know generally what areas you've covered and what areas you haven't.
Yeah.
Because I've done about 30 or 40 of them. I've no idea where they are.
Like, think about it now. If you wanted to do them all, and let's say you went and found a guide, you'd have to go through each one individually, even if you've already done like 30 P-Switches, because you don't know which ones you've done. You have no idea.
Yeah.
So it's just it's not. It isn't for a mode that clearly encourages discovery and progression. It does not help you with the progression whatsoever, which I think is silly.
Yeah.
If you're going
I
by
think
mode,
it's good concept, poor execution.
yeah, poor execution. Yeah, that's what I mean. I think in theory it is cool, but I think once you actually get into it, it just feels very boneless because there's nothing to look forward to. There's nothing to grind. Blah blah blah. And like I said, me personally, I'll definitely collect all the costumes and stuff like that, but I'm definitely not going to go out of my way to find all these P-Switches and all these hidden blocks and just and the coins as well for the medallions. Like, sorry, the medallions for the stamps.
So the hidden blocks maybe because they're the one things you can track. You can track
and
blocks.
I'll do it in multiplayer.
So you can't track the princess coins. You can't track the P switches in multiplayer. You can't do the P switches all. But I understand why. Because if one person's doing that, it would disrupt it for other people. That's fine. When you can everything else you can collect together, and it is really fun. We've been collecting a lot of the question mark blocks. They're really fun to find together because we just spread out. Yeah. We're spread out on a racetrack, and we say, "Oh, I've found one," and then we get over to the other person. It is really fun. But I think let's not get away from
costumes.
The costumes as well. Let's not get away from the fact though that they have created a Mario Kart World. You know what I mean? And the world, it looks good. I know it's empty of like challenge and stuff like that, but it's full of character and it's full of like all the characters are all racing around the track in real time. You can go and find them if you want to. You know what I mean?
It looks fantastic visually. I really like the world that it's in.
They put a lot of effort into that world.
Yeah, and they put a lot of effort into like the way it's designed. Like even like finding things, you have to get to certain places in ways you wouldn't even think of getting to them. And like that takes a lot of effort for sure. I just think the way it's been implemented is very poor.
Yeah.
And that's my issue is I just feel like it takes away from it. I'm not saying what they built isn't necessarily good. I'm saying they built something and then just sort of shat the bed with implementing anything to do with it, which makes it come across as worse than it is.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is annoying.
All right, so moving on to the next mode, we got Grand Prix. Grand Prix in every Mario Kart, you know what Grand Prix is? It's like I think there's eight cups with 4 tracks in each. It's exactly as you'd expect it. In my opinion, this is implemented worse than in any other Mario Kart game. Not much, not massively worse, but the issue, my biggest issue is with it that the courses have lost their identity completely. Because, so for example, you start off on Super Mario Circuit, great, you do 3 laps of Super Mario Circuit, and then the next course, let's say it's Koopa Troopa Beach, whatever it is, the next course is driving to Koopa Troopa Beach. So you start off exactly where you finished on Mario Kart Circuit, and then it's just driving across the world and then maybe by the third lap, it's not really a lap because it's just different checkpoints. You will see Koopa Troopa Beach.
You literally just do a circle around it, and then that's it.
Exactly. So that's the level isn't Koopa Troopa Beach, it's driving to Koopa Troopa Beach, and it's just what we're going to find is this iteration of Mario Kart is not going to have any classic tracks, not many anyway. And I think that really takes away from it, because one of the best part, like you're just thinking back on Baby Park or the multiplayer or Toad's Turnpike, stuff like that. You remember those tracks in your head really well.
Yeah, I remember none of these.
Yeah, the ones from there.
No, but imagine driving to Baby Park and you get to it and you do the 1 lap round.
Yeah, it's just.
We know this is an actual valid issue because before, when we were playing online, all of us, I said, wait, is this not the map we just played? And it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was not the same map, but I thought it was.
But it looked. Yeah, you're starting the map, you just finish. It's just. It's not great, and it makes like Lewis said, there are a couple I remember, but they're the ones where you start the cup on, and you are in that area for the entirety of it, and that like I said, it just takes away from it. But there is also Knockout Tour, and Knockout Tour is the way this game was meant to be played. Definitely.
Yes.
They designed the entire game around Knockout Tour. Just to explain what it is before we give the others a chance to actually talk about it. Knockout Tour is it is a collection of 6 tracks, and it is one straight line. There are no circuits. It is one straight line. You're going from Mario Circuit to Koopa Troopa Beach to Peachy Speedway, one after the other. And at the start of each course, there is a finish line and the big number, and it tells you what place you need to be in to make it to that next stage of the. So after the first one, if you're not in the first 20, you get knocked out. After that, the first 16. First 12 and all that stuff, and eventually the last one is just 4. Like the 6th track is 4 people racing to be first. It's a really good system, like a battle royale type thing.
Yes.
Yeah. No, straight up just battle royale.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it. We've only played a couple together because again we couldn't play with other people. We could only play with us 3 and computers. But we said it's a hard, said it's a frantic, and we still lost. So,
yeah. But it's still fun, even though they were bots.
Yeah.
But that's the annoying thing is, like, you want to play that online with people and get your RP up or whatever it is.
Yeah, a lot of people
can't do that because it's hard to join the lobbies.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying the reason they haven't let you do it is because people will team up. And
I think that's fine. I think that's just what happens with those sorts.
That's just what happens in games, though.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't, but not in Mario Kart unless you're playing a team. What they need to do is create a team version of it. Like I was saying to you before, Lewis, they need to create like a quads version of it.
Yes, if they made like an actual like party-based version of it, it would be sick. And again,
imagine like a relay version as well.
If Nintendo just want to be silly and have some fun, they will update and patch the game and give us stuff like this. And give us reasons to go back to the game. Give us reasons to want to play the game. Give us reasons to be excited and go, oh shit, I can go fucking put in Mario Kart and play Mario Kart. Like, give us stuff to do with these games. Don't just let them die and just let them sit there for years and just don't touch them. You can do. It's one thing with Nintendo that I think they do with a lot of games is they bring out a game that clearly took them years to make. It comes out. They don't fucking do anything with it.
Yeah.
It just sits there, and people play it, but you could make so much more content, so much more money, so much more fun for people by just continually adding stuff. I'm not saying for it to be live service at all, but you can release updates for a product that you clearly spent years on. Years and years and years. You can add stuff to it. I think it'd be nice. I think it'd be fun. Nintendo, listen.
Yeah, legit. Yeah. Well, they did DLC on Mario Kart 8, so they could potentially like do DLC. But
after what, 4 years?
Yeah. It was so they didn't have to release a Mario Kart on the Switch. Yeah, that's what it was.
Like, I don't know. If you want people to be happy with the Switch 2 launch, and not that people aren't happy, people are clearly loving Mario Kart. Just give us a reason to be excited. And give us like faith in you as a company. Make us go, oh shit, maybe this generation ain't gonna be that bad in terms of like multiplayer experiences. Maybe this is actually gonna be nice this time around.
Yeah, we haven't played much of the battle mode, but to be fair, we never play the battle mode at all. It's just not.
That was always something I played as a kid though, and
as a kid on my DS, DS version. Yeah,
well, mine was the N64 because ancient. But yeah, I used to love Mario Kart N64 in the skyscraper. That was my favorite level.
Yeah, exactly. We don't play it now, so we're not going to include it in the review because
no,
this is our review and it's just not going to affect it at all.
Yeah, of course. I ain't even touched it either. So,
Yeah. So let's get on to the characters. We've talked about the track, so let's talk about the characters. So there's a lot of characters in this one. They've completely thrown out the rule book in what makes a character for Mario Kart. They've just said fuck it, everything can be a character. So as well as your normal characters, you've got NPC characters as well. So basically any enemy.
I think what they're categorizing them as is main characters.
Yeah.
And creatures.
Yeah. So if you are in I'll just explain how it happens. If you are in a course that, like for example, Moo Moo Meadows, that has a lot of cows on it, and a certain magical turtle flies overhead, you briefly will turn into a creature, and then at that point you've unlocked that creature for normal. You can just use it as a character. And it's really good. I really like it. I really like the fact that they've just opened up the roster, and you can play as basically whatever you want at this point. Goomba's finally got a fucking place on the team. You know what I mean? You play as Goomba. Yeah. This is the 9th Mario Kart, and you've not been able to play as a Goomba before, which is crazy. But yeah, no, I really enjoy the characters. Also, on top of that as well, you've got a shit ton of costumes for the main characters. Some only have a few, some have loads. You unlock them from eating the fast food from the vendors that are around the world. You can do this in race, you can do it out of race. It doesn't really matter you get different costumes based on where in the world that you are, what food the character is eating. I think it's really, really good. Again, it's giving that little bit of personal detail to each character. So like, if loads of people playing as Waluigi, you can switch up and play as like Vampire Waluigi, for example.
Yeah, people have to bear in mind as well is each one of these costume characters counts as a separate character in the roster. So even at a minimum, because each character has a different amount of costumes. Some have 1, some have 2, some have 7. It just depends. But at a minimum, there's 24 main characters, and let's say each of those characters have 2 costumes each. So there's 3 for each. That turns the roster from 24 into 72.
Yeah.
Like just with costumes alone. And then you've got all your creatures, which is another like 24 characters, I think.
Yoshi's just 10 on his own, remember? Because of all different colours.
So we're talking unique characters, where he's obviously sitting at the 40-something limit. In terms of just characters in general, though, for the roster, we're talking over 100.
Oh, way over 100.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Which is very cool.
Yeah, it's very cool, implemented a little bit poorly. So if you want to switch to one of these costume characters, you want to switch from Waluigi to Vampire Waluigi, you have to go into the character select screen and select a separate character, which is going to get real annoying once we unlock all these costumes.
Oh yeah, because it's gonna it's gonna take ages to scroll from left to right.
Yeah, exactly. I think it would have taken very little effort to just
click the character and then it has the costumes above it.
Just stack them. Just stack them. You know what I mean? It may make it a lot simpler to do.
I think it's one of those things that it's cool in concept, but then when you actually do it, it's really inefficient.
Yeah.
Like in the way that you actually like navigate the menu and stuff, it's just not. It's not the way to do it, which stinks a little bit.
Yeah, but overall, I think this is a very good Mario Kart game. I think it is. I think it's very fun. They've improved in some ways, got a little bit worse in some others, and some they've just remained fucking stagnant in the online. Just still doesn't work as well as you'd want it to do. But I really like it. I'm enjoying my time with it. All the courses, when you do eventually get to the courses in the third lap, look really, really, really nice. They've all got some great characters to it. Like the one that springs to mind is the big robot DK one.
Yeah,
it's like a spin on the original Donkey Kong game, but it's a big fuck off robot monkey.
Yeah, really cool. The Rainbow Road.
I am yet to see Rainbow Road.
You see Rainbow Road. It'll be the last race you do. It is an excellent Rainbow Road. It really is. It seems to combine a lot of the different all the elements of a lot of different Rainbow Roads. really
this
good.
is what I mean. Like, and even it controls very well. So they even added new mechanics in the whole jumping system and the grinding system and the wall riding system and
Yeah.
the You can even do quick turns now, which you never do before. If you hold A and B, you can quickly turn the opposite direction.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of mechanics they added as well.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. We should have brought that up earlier.
Yeah.
It's added a whole new kind of like a spin on the game, because as like you mentioned the other day, Lewis, like once people start to get to grips with the grinding and the wall riding and
it's
stuff,
gonna be
it's
ridiculous.
going to be ridiculous.
It's going to be mental.
Yeah,
Because
because
it gives you such a boost and such an advantage, and you can
Yeah.
even get boosts from simply because they added the jump mechanic, which is similar to the drift mechanic, where if you're traveling in a straight line, if you hold the drift button, it causes you to jump in a direction when you let go of the button, but that in return gives you a boost. So like people are really gonna start to min max all of these mechanics. And it's going to be really difficult to play against some of these demons online because you
Yeah.
definitely do get rewarded for it.
yes,
There will be like a genuine skill gap, which I think is interesting. That's cool.
and one thing they have removed as well, which I spoke about briefly earlier with you guys, is since Mario Kart 7, there's been 3 configurations of driving. There's driving, there's gliding, and there was underwater. They've changed
Yeah.
underwater. You no longer go underwater, which I'm a bit sad about, but I understand why they did it, because it's a huge world, and getting like designing
more
and
underneath the world.
exactly it'd have to be like Tears of the Kingdom, where you've
I
got
was
the
about to
overworld,
say,
you've got the
yes.
underworld. I understand why they haven't do it. It's a little disappointing, because I used to love those underwater parts, but it's fine. But it's just to let people know, you now drive over the water like on like a speedboat
Like,
type thing.
Like
That's
Diddy
always,
Kong Racing.
that's
Yeah.
always one thing that I don't realize people understand how technically as much as like you can give Nintendo shit for the whole Tears of the Kingdom basically being Breath of the Wild and whatever, what they did adding that underground world, which
And
is
and the sky
basically-
as well.
Yeah, which is basically the same size as the regular default world, is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like that must have taken fucking forever. So Oliver's saying they would have to do the same for Mario Kart. Like it makes a lot of sense why they didn't do it
Yeah.
with the way the game works now. Not to say they couldn't maybe do something in the future with DLC. They might. But I understand why they didn't do it.
Yeah.
And I don't think the game suffers much by not having it. I think they implemented enough stuff, and the worlds and the courses get just like crazy enough and wacky enough, and the open world in general are all just good enough additions that I don't think taking it away is necessarily an issue.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think it more than makes up for it with everything else.
All right, so going back to overall, because we did forget some stuff we had to go back to there. Overall, I think it's a great time. I think we will give this a score. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
I was going to say the exact same thing. I'm going to
Yeah.
give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah,
I
I'd
think,
say an 8.
Yeah.
I think in my heart of hearts, even if it had perfect online, I don't think I could give Mario Kart any higher
No.
than an 8, probably, because Mario Kart...
Yeah, I agree.
um,
If it's a game I can't play for hours and hours on end, then I can't justify
it's-
giving it above an 8.
Yeah.
Like, it's fun, it's great, but I know what Mario Kart is always going to be. And it's a fun party game that I will play for a couple of hours, not play it for a bit, come back, do it
Changed
again.
it changed up the formula, but it's
But that's
Mario
not,
Kart at the end of the
but
day.
that not to say there's anything wrong with an 8. 8 is fantastic.
Yeah, 8 is
It's very
yes.
brilliant.
as
Brilliant.
as good as it can be without Nintendo actually learning how to do it online.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
That's fine. But yeah, so that's the review. That's the review of the Switch 2 and it's Mario Kart World. Obviously, there'll be a lot more coming once more games actually come out and stuff like that, and we'll be covering as much as we can. That's fine. But other than that, we shall see you later.
Bye.
Bye.